So today, actually, I wanted to present a few slides, get into a little details about our bodies, because part of this self-transformation is understanding ourselves. Unless you understand yourself, then you cannot transform yourself. So what are we? We are basically a seven-body system: physical body, etheric body, astral, mental, causal, Buddhic, and Nirvanic. So today we will go a little deeper into this, each of the bodies. Now here we have discussed it. There is reincarnation, and some people, they don't believe it. In the Western world, some people, they don't believe reincarnation. But it's okay. It is whether they believe it or not. It is their choice. But reincarnation do exist. And as a matter of fact, I know because it is in my personal experience. And spirituality means not believing anything blindly, but going through your own experiments. So how do people know that there is reincarnation? What is the proof? There is enough documented proof by the Western world that there are children who recollect their past lives and they exactly pinpoint where they have been in their past life. They give the parents' name, they give the address. Small children, 3 years, 4 years old children. And they went, and when they double checked, it came out to be absolutely true. Like, for example, a child born in America, the child says, okay, my past life is somewhere in Asia, and this is my parents' name, and this is how my house looks, and this is where I used to live, my garden is. And they went, and they were so surprised that it is 100% true. And there is no way the child could know all those things unless it is a past life memory. So there are a lot of case studies documented to prove that there is life, and there is life after death, and there is reincarnation. And there are many books which speak about near-death experiences, where people go through a heart stroke, or people go into a coma, people go through accidents, and for a brief moment of time, they exit the body and they come back. So that's a near-death experience. So those people, they have documented their experiences, where they experience death as a beautiful thing, where you're just dropping your baggage and going back to the source. In fact, most of the people, they don't want to come back because it is so nice there. And because the physical vibration is so dense, the higher vibrations are, it's so much joy because you are in union with the higher frequencies. So those people, most of them, they share that they don't want to come back. But their astral masters and spirit guides, they told them, no, it's time. It's not at the time. You have to go back, and we will come back again. So with that assurance that we will come back, you will come back to us again, but now it's not the time. So with that assurance, they came back to the body. So this is called near-death experience. There are many books which document the near-death experience. So Raymond Moody, Dr. Raymond Moody. So he's one of the pioneers in documenting these experiences. So near-death experiences by Dr. Raymond Moody. If you read that book, you will understand a lot of case studies. So basically, we go through three kinds of death, my dear friends. From the earth, there is a physical death. Then we go to the astral worlds. Then there is an astral death. Then we go to the mental worlds. Then we go through the mental deaths. So how long? Finally, we go to the causal plane, which is our home. If the soul is not evolved, for example, infant souls, baby souls, young souls, they spend most of the time in the astral world, and they spend very little time in the mental world because their mental body is not fully developed. But evolved souls, like mature souls, old souls, they spend little time in the astral world because astral world is the world of emotions, feelings, and mental world is the world of your mental development, mental maturity, ability, and doing a lot of experiments, research. So that's what we do in the mental planes. So evolved souls spend little time in the astral worlds and more time in the mental plane. Of course, enlightened souls, they directly go to Buddhic planes and Nirvanic planes. Okay, so let us go through these bodies a little deeper. So each incarnation, you'll have a new mental body, new astral, new etheric, new physical. So in that seven body system, the causal is our permanent body. So the causal body doesn't change. And the Buddhic and Nirvanic bodies are there for everybody, but unless they come into meditation, they cannot experience those Buddhic and Nirvanic bodies. Once you come into Buddhic and Nirvanic, once you come into meditation, then you will experience the Buddhic and Nirvanic bodies also. So we have seen the stages of soul evolution, and average it takes about 350 lifetimes. And the soul, every incarnation, the soul learns certain things. So the more the soul is learning, the more the soul graduates. Okay, but here there is absolutely no judgment. The baby soul is no less than an infinite soul. Okay, so the same is the case when somebody is killing animals and eating meat. We don't judge them. We don't say, hey, you are a baby soul, you are an infant soul, you are low frequency. We don't judge them. He is in that, he has to learn his own lesson. So whatever he is doing is right for him. You see, you being an old soul, when you kill an animal, it is bad karma for you. It is tremendous bad karma for you. But an infant soul, a baby soul, he is on the survival consciousness and he is killing an animal. Of course, it is a bad karma only. But he is ignorant. He is doing that because he is ignorant. People do bad things because they are ignorant. And once they come into consciousness, trust me, nobody will do bad things. If somebody is doing any mistake, we should forgive them because they are ignorant about it. Even when Jesus Christ was getting crucified, when he was put into the cross and nails were getting hammered into his feet and hands, he made a prayer. Oh Lord, please forgive them. They don't know what they are doing. They know not what they are doing. Please forgive them. So even in that situation, he was asking forgiveness because he understands that they are baby souls. They don't know. They cannot understand Jesus Christ's teachings. So always you should not have any judgments, my dear friends. Anybody, whatever anybody is doing, don't have any judgments. But understand that this is the natural flow of evolution. And with that understanding, what you can do. Okay, as an evolved soul, what you can do. As an old soul, what you can do. So we have to do our dharma. Even the case of Swami Rama. Swami Rama was a famous person who wrote the book Living with the Himalayan Masters. So during his young days, that was the time of freedom movement in India. So he wanted to participate in the freedom movement to fight against the British. But his gurus discouraged him. He said, yes, you joining the freedom movement and to doing the service to a nation, it is a good thing. But for your level of evolution, that is not appropriate. So for your level of evolution, you should focus on the spiritual sadhana. Because through your spiritual sadhana, you are going to help the whole of the planet Earth to increase the consciousness, to help a lot of old souls. Your job is not to participate in the freedom movement because that is a physical service, but you are going to do spiritual service. Spiritual service is a permanent impact. Physical service is temporary, but spiritual service is permanent. So they're discouraged. So we have to serve according to our evolution and according to our stage of whatever the stage of evolution we are in. So how can you do the service? If you have judgments, how can we do the service? If you are judging somebody, how can you love them? It's not possible. It's not possible to judge somebody and it's not possible to accept them. It is not possible you judge somebody and it's not possible to love them. Basic acceptance and love towards fellow humans comes when there is no judgment, my dear friends. So it is very, very important not to have any judgment. And just understand, Ravana is correct. In his evolution, in the Ramayana, you have two characters. In the Ramayana, the main characters are Rama and Ravana. Ravana is correct for his evolution. Rama is correct for his evolution. So with that understanding, you can do a lot of spiritual service. Okay, so let us go into the bodies. Now you might ask, sir, how these bodies are all 7 bodies together? Where these bodies inside or outside, where it is. So I'll give an illustration how these 7 bodies are there, but we are able to see only physical body in the mirror. In the mirror, we see only the physical body. Why we are not able to see the other bodies using the physical eye? So let us go through an example. Take 2 glasses of water. Okay, so in the first glass, you add some sand. So if you add some sand in the first glass, what happens? The water spills over. The sand doesn't get dissolved in the water. And in the second glass, you add some sugar. So sugar dissolves in the water. What happened to the sugar? The sugar is no more there. What happened? Because there are a lot of free space in the water molecules, and the sugar molecules gets into the free space of the water molecules. That's why the sugar dissolves in the water. Whereas in the case of sand, the sand molecules doesn't go into the space of the water molecule. This is science. Similarly, after you add sugar, you add salt. The salt also dissolves. What happened to the salt? In the water molecules, there is still more space. So the salt molecules gets into the space of the water molecule. Similarly, we have this bodies, all the 7 bodies. The first is the physical body, but the other bodies are very subtle bodies. Okay, so these subtle bodies take up the space in the physical body. And to be very precise, you can imagine the Russian dolls, one into the other, Russian dolls. So you have a Russian dolls. I think if you are in the 90s, you will see a lot of Russian dolls. The 6, 7 dolls where all the dolls goes into each other. So physical body is basically made up of flesh and bones, and you can see with your physical eyes. And this is the only body which needs food and rest. All the other bodies, they don't need rest. Only the physical body needs physical food and rest. And you might ask, sir, if you meditate, then is there a need to sleep? Yes, you will notice that the more you meditate, the more your sleep requirements reduces. Before you used to sleep for 8 hours. And gradually when you are practicing meditation, your sleep reduces from 8 hours to 7 hours, from 7 hours to 6 hours, then 5 hours, then 4 hours. It gradually reduces. Some people ask the question, can we completely avoid sleep? Yes, if you're an intense practitioner of meditation, then it is possible. But if you are involved, if you're a Himalayan yogi, you go to Himalayas, you are cut off from the outside world, or you go to deep forest and you're doing only sadhana, then of course you don't need sleep because you are 24/7 in that cosmic shower. But when you're in a day-to-day life, you're interacting with so many people, so much of energy. So you're doing a lot of physical work. You go to work and you do the domestic work. There's a lot of work we do physically. So your physical body definitely needs rest. Your bones and flesh, they need rest. So I would suggest a minimum of 3 to 4 hours of sleep is necessary for a normal man, even though you are a meditator, because this physical body needs rest. Then etheric body. So this etheric body is nothing but the energy body. What in Sanskrit we call it as nadi mandala. Energy tubes, right? Energy tubes surrounding our nervous system. And this is the etheric body is responsible for our sensations. And this is also a link between our physical body and astral body. Every day during sleep, our astral body comes out and our astral body absorbs the cosmic energy. So the astral body coming out and wandering here and there, what we call it as dreams. In meditation also, we get energy. In sleep also, we get energy. So this etheric body is the link between these two bodies. And it is in this etheric body, all our karmas are stored. Okay, so the link is called etheric cord, silver cord. So if you can see in this picture, so this link, this thin line is the silver cord. It is the etheric. So next is the astral body. So astral body is made up of fine astral matter, and it's a very subtle body, and this is the body which is responsible for our feelings and emotions. All our feelings and emotions are stored in the astral body. Our karmas are stored in the etheric body. Our sensation is because of the etheric, and our emotions and feelings are in the astral. So after death, the astral body permanently separates. During the dream, the etheric cord connection is there. But when you go through the physical death process, the etheric cord is permanently disconnected. So you drop your etheric body and the physical body on the planet Earth after physical death. Then two bodies are down. Then you are in the third body, which is in the astral body. When you are in the physical body, you are in the physical plane. When you are in the astral body, you are in the astral plane. So again, in the astral plane, there are 7 subdivisions. The first three, the lower 3 divisions is called lower astral planes. 4 and above is called higher astral planes. The lower divisions are very low vibrational fields, where what people commonly refer to as hell. Actually, in reality, there is no hell. It is your own negative thoughts which creates and manifests uh, hell around you in the astral world. Because in the astral world, whatever is your thoughts, whatever is your feelings, it magnifies. So what you think, it manifests immediately. What you feel, it manifests immediately. So if you are having negative thoughts, negative emotions before death, you will definitely create a hell for yourself in the astral worlds. So you will go to the lower astral worlds where you create a lot of situations where you feel it is like a hell, because that is a manifestation of your own thoughts and own feelings. So whatever is your feelings before death, you will exactly be the same even after death. People believe after death they go to the heaven straight. No, the hell and heaven exist here now. Your state of mind, whatever is your state of mind, determines whether you will go to the lower astral worlds or higher astral worlds. So again, how long you stay in the astral worlds depends upon what kind of desires you have, what kind of how much desires you have, what kind of desires you have, and how much desires you have. So depending on your desires, your stay in the astral world is depending on your desires. If you don't have too much desires, then you will just pass through the astral worlds and go to the mental worlds. But if you have too much desires, then you will spend a lot of time in the astral worlds until you fulfill all your desires, and then you are ready to go for the second death, which is the astral death. And in the astral worlds, you can see the body as a shape. Whatever is the shape of the body in the physical, you will replicate the same shape in the astral also. When you go to the mental worlds, now after going through the astral death, you go to the mental worlds. In the mental worlds, you are in the mental body. If you drop your astral body, then you are in the mental body. So in the mental worlds, your individual mental development is not how much degrees you have, what PhDs you have, and what is your educational background. Your mental development doesn't depend upon your educational background. It depends on your ability to connect the dots and see the bigger meaning of life. It's your ability to discern, and it's your ability to see a smaller aspect of life and able to project it and understand the bigger aspect of life. So that is your mental development, my dear friends. And it is composed of even finer material, even finer than the astral body. And in the mental worlds, you see some people, they have a very clear outer image. So that means their mental bodies are fully developed. If you have a fine, clear, detailed outer, you can see in this image, the lower image, he has a very clear image where you can see the person is sitting and reading. But if you see the upper image on your screen, it's just like a smoke, So the people whose mental body is not developed, their mental body is just like smoky. But if your mental body is fully developed, then your mental body also has a very finite shape. Okay, and your mental body depends on your mental maturity. After the mental death, then you go to the causal worlds. And when you go to the causal worlds, you are in the causal body. And this is the permanent body. And this is where all the reservoir of knowledge and wisdom from all your lifetimes has been stored. The Akashic records, everything is stored here. So this is where the humans, when they graduate from an animal kingdom, animals have group souls. So when the animals graduate to the human, then the group soul is graduated to an individual soul. So that individual soul is in the causal world. So if you have 100% energy, the 100% doesn't incarnate. A certain amount of energy is always remains in the causal world. Only a small percentage of energy comes to incarnate in the physical. Let's say 25-30% comes for the incarnation. Suppose our soul has 100%, only 25 to 30% comes for the incarnation. The rest of the energy is still there. So that's why, sometimes we close our eyes and we meditate. Sometimes we see that we are observing the breath and we notice that somebody else is observing us, observing our breath. That is our higher self, where the observer becoming observed. So your higher self comes, and all our guidance comes from our causal body. All our guidance, our core, the feelings in the heart, your intuition, your guidance, your inner guidance, your feelings. When your mind is empty, what you feel in your heart is nothing but the guidance from your causal body, your higher self. And in this causal world, you see the developed souls, they have a radiant light around them. They are very radiant and a lot of colors. But if the soul is not developed, if it's a baby soul, infant soul, then it is just a light, but almost invisible, colorless. Okay. And next, Buddhic and Nirvanic bodies. The Buddhic and Nirvanic body starts developing only after a person comes into a certain stillness, after a person comes into meditation, reflection, self-reflection. When the person has the desire to understand the bigger truth, then his Buddhic and Nirvanic bodies start developing. The more a person does the spiritual service, then his Nirvanic body starts developing. Self-realization, Buddhic body. God realization, Nirvanic body. Also, let us go through quickly the spiritual laws. There are 6 spiritual laws: the law of consciousness, the law of reincarnation, law of karma, law of constant progression, law of hastening the progress, law of uncertainty. So I will go through this in detail tomorrow, because it is important as part of the self-transformation program. You understand what are the spiritual laws. When you understand the spiritual laws, you get the benefit out of it. It is like, when you go to a new country, you first understand what is the law in that country. You understand the law, so that you act according to the laws. That will help you. So if you go against the law, then you will suffer. And similarly, scientifically, there is law of gravity. When you understand law of gravity, then based on that understanding of law of gravity, you can scientifically do a lot of experiments. But if you don't understand the law of gravity, then your whatever scientific explorations you are going to do it's going to be a failure, because if you want to understand physics, then you have to understand the laws of the physics. Then you can master the physics. Similarly, if you want to grow spiritually, then you have to understand the spiritual laws. Whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, whether you understand it or not, the laws exist. It's same like gravity. I drop something, it falls down. Whether I believe it, I accept it, it doesn't matter. Law of gravity exists. Similarly, the spiritual laws exist. But the more we understand it, the more we benefit in our spiritual progress. Okay, friends. Namaste to all of you. Thank you.